In a world where the constant barrage of thoughts often disrupts our inner peace, the timeless teachings of Gautama Buddha invite us to undertake a transformative journey to quiet the ceaseless mental chatter. Overthinking, a common struggle in our modern, hectic lives, can impose upon us the heavy burden of stress, anxiety, and a pervasive feeling of being engulfed by our thoughts. However, there is no need for despair, because within the profound wisdom imparted by Buddha, we can discover 10 invaluable strategies to free our minds from the relentless grip of excessive rumination. Number 1. The art of mindfulness, understanding mindfulness through imagery. Picture in your mind a serene, gently flowing stream. Its waters move with a calm, steady grace, undisturbed by any obstructions. No fallen branches, leaves, or accumulation of silt hinder its progress. This stream serves as a metaphor for the concept of mindfulness, which is an integral part of Buddhist meditation practices. Mindfulness is the mental state achieved when you direct your attention entirely to the now, the present moment. It's about being acutely aware of what you're sensing and feeling without interpretation or judgment. Practicing mindfulness involves breathing methods, guided imagery, and other practices to relax the body and mind and help reduce stress. When you are mindful, you observe your thoughts and feelings from a distance, without labeling them as good or bad. Instead of letting your life pass you by, mindfulness means living in the moment and awakening to your current experience, rather than dwelling on the past or anticipating the future. To cultivate a mindful way of being, imagine training your mind to focus as the stream does, uninterrupted and free from the clutter of random scattered thoughts. This allows you to escape the relentless current of overthinking that can lead to stress and anxiety. By developing the ability to concentrate on the present, you empower yourself to engage more fully with life as it unfolds around you. Number 2. Observe your thoughts. The process of mindful observation involves a conscious effort to pay attention to your thoughts with an air of detachment. It is similar to stepping back from a complex, entangled web that represents your usual thought patterns. Imagine each thought as a strand in this web. By observing these strands, you can begin to understand the structure without getting caught in it. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize the importance of looking at our thoughts with a non-judgmental attitude. This means that instead of categorizing thoughts as good or bad, or reacting to them emotionally, you simply acknowledge their presence. It's akin to watching clouds pass by in the sky. You see them, but you do not become them. When you practice observing your thoughts in this manner, it's as if you are rising above the maze-like complexities of your mind. From this vantage point, you can see the paths of your thought patterns more clearly. This perspective is incredibly empowering. It allows you to identify and understand the nature of your thoughts without becoming ensnared by them. As a result, you can navigate through your mental processes with greater clarity and ease, freeing yourself from the mental labyrinth that once confined you. Number 3. The middle way. Buddhism is a spiritual tradition that places great emphasis on finding a harmonious balance in all aspects of life, a concept encapsulated in the principle known as the middle way. This philosophy is particularly pertinent when addressing the tendency to overthink, a common challenge that many individuals face. At its core, the middle way is the path of moderation that Buddha advocated as the optimal route to achieving enlightenment and inner peace. It is the golden mean that avoids the extremes of self-indulgence on one hand and self-mortification on the other. When it comes to our mental processes, the middle way suggests a balanced approach to our thoughts and emotions. Let's delve into this concept as it relates to overthinking. Overthinking can be characterized by an excessive, almost obsessive, rumination over a single idea or a multitude of thoughts. It often leads to a state of analysis paralysis, where one is so caught up in the intricacies of their thoughts that they are unable to take action. Alternatively, some might try to combat overthinking by forcibly suppressing their thoughts, striving for a blank mind, which can be equally counterproductive and potentially stressful. The middle way teaches us to navigate between these extremes. Rather than clinging tenaciously to a particular thought or series of thoughts, the practice encourages recognition and acknowledgement of the thoughts without becoming ensnared by them. This doesn't mean allowing thoughts to run rampant. Rather, it means observing them with detachment and without judgment. Similarly, the middle way advises against the aggressive suppression of thoughts. Suppression can create an inner resistance, making the thoughts more powerful and pervasive. Instead, Buddhism encourages a gentle release of attachment to these thoughts, promoting a state of mental clarity and calmness. By following the middle way, the Buddha teaches that one can cultivate a state of mental balance. This balance is not static, but dynamic, requiring constant mindfulness and adjustment, much like walking a tightrope. It is in this mental equilibrium that serenity is found. By neither giving into the whirlpool of overthinking nor forcing the mind into an unnatural silence, we can find a peaceful coexistence with our thoughts, leading to a more serene and mindful existence. In practice, this can involve meditation techniques that focus on the breath or body sensations as anchors for the present moment, helping the mind to remain centered and not carried away by thought currents. It can also involve cultivating a mindset of acceptance and compassion towards oneself, recognizing that thoughts are natural and not indicative of failure or weakness. Thus, the middle way offers a compassionate and practical approach to managing overthinking, one that encourages balance, acceptance, and the pursuit of mental tranquility. Number 4, release your grip on attachments. It's important to understand that holding on too tightly to our desires can cause us distress. In a similar vein, if we cling to our thoughts too persistently, it can lead us into the trap of overthinking. This can be a challenging cycle to break free from. To address this, consider the wisdom offered by the Buddha. One should practice letting go of their attachments. This includes the attachment to thoughts themselves. It's about learning to recognize that our thoughts are fleeting by nature. They come and go, and it's not necessary for them to have a defining impact on who we are. To put this into practice, start by observing your thoughts without judging them. When you notice that you're starting to fixate on a particular thought, gently remind yourself that it's temporary. You don't need to hold on to it or let it control your emotions or actions. By embracing this mindset, you allow yourself to be more present in the moment, free from the weight of past or future concerns. This can lead to a clearer mind and a more balanced state of being. Remember, your thoughts are just thoughts. They don't have to dictate your life. Let them pass like clouds in the sky, and you'll find a sense of peace in the space they leave behind. Number 5. Cultivate compassion. Compassion is a cornerstone of emotional well-being and a fundamental concept in Buddhist teachings, where it is known as karuna. At its core, compassion is the heartfelt wish to reduce and ultimately remove suffering, not just for ourselves but for all beings. It is an empathetic response that moves beyond mere understanding and into the realm of active intention. When we find ourselves caught in the throes of overthinking, compassion can be an incredibly powerful tool. Overthinking often involves ruminating on worries, fears, and negative scenarios that may never come to pass, leading to a cycle of mental distress. Compassion offers a way out of this cycle by encouraging a gentle acknowledgement of the distress being experienced. This is the first step in cultivating compassion, recognizing the pain without judgment or criticism. Once we have acknowledged this distress, we can then affirm our intention to seek relief. This is an active process that involves directing kindness and care towards ourselves, as though we were our own best friend. Self-compassion is about offering ourselves the same kindness, concern, and support we would offer to someone we care about who is suffering. It means telling ourselves things like, "This is really difficult right now, and it's okay to feel upset. Let's find a way through this together." By cultivating self-compassion, we can begin to quiet the critical inner voice that often exacerbates overthinking. This inner critic can be relentless, constantly pointing out our flaws, mistakes, and inadequacies, which only serves to heighten our anxiety and overthinking. Self-compassion helps to shift this internal conversation to one that is more nurturing, supportive, and kind. Imagine your mind as a turbulent sea where overthinking is like a storm churning the waters. Compassion is the gentle breeze that helps to settle the waves, bring peace to the waters, and guide you back to shore. It requires practice, much like any skill, to become adept at responding to one's own suffering with compassion. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes and the quieter our minds will grow. As we become more compassionate with ourselves, we might find that this attitude naturally extends to others. We begin to recognize the common humanity in our shared experience of suffering and our desire for relief from it. This expanded sense of compassion can foster a greater connection with others, as we realize that just like us, they too are doing their best to navigate the challenges of life. By cultivating compassion, we do not just alleviate our own overthinking, but also contribute to a kinder, more empathetic world. It starts within each of us, with a simple intention to be kind to ourselves, and radiates outward, touching the lives of others in ever-widening circles of care and understanding. Number 6. Practice patience. In the profound and expansive teachings of Buddhism, patience is revered as a cornerstone virtue, essential for navigating the ebbs and flows of the human experience. It is the soothing balm to the often self-inflicted wounds of hastiness and agitation. These states of mind are known to fuel the flames of overthinking, creating a cycle of mental unrest that can be challenging to escape. To embrace patience is to commit to a practice of calm endurance and to honor the natural progression of events. It requires an individual to step back and observe the unfolding of life's intricate patterns with acceptance rather than resistance. In the context of our internal landscapes, this means greeting our cascade of thoughts and the swell of emotions with a gentle acknowledgement, permitting them to exist without the pressure to immediately dissect or understand them. This patient approach can significantly diminish the perceived need to solve all of life's puzzles at once. When we relinquish the false urgency that insists we must figure everything out this instant, we offer ourselves the freedom to let our mental processes occur without the added weight of immediate resolution. Thoughts and feelings are given the space to clarify over time, much like the settling of silt in a once turbulent river, allowing for clarity and peace to emerge naturally. By cultivating patience, we effectively slow down our internal clock to match the unrushed tempo of nature. We learn to sit with our overthinking, observing it with compassionate curiosity rather than critical urgency. In doing so, we not only ease our compulsion to overthink, but also create room for insight and wisdom to grow from the fertile ground of a quiet mind. Number 7. Simplify your life. The human mind can become easily ensnared in the trap of overthinking, particularly when faced with a life filled with chaos and complexity. To combat this, it is imperative to steer towards a more simplified existence. This process of simplification isn't merely about having fewer possessions. It's about creating a space that fosters serenity and clarity of thought. Begin by examining your physical environment, the spaces where you spend the majority of your time, such as your home and office. Assess each item you encounter and ask yourself whether it serves a purpose or brings you joy. If it does neither, it may be contributing to the sensory clutter that feeds into your cognitive overload. By methodically decluttering your space, you not only create a more pleasing and organized environment, but also minimize the external triggers that can lead to mental spirals. Beyond the physical, simplifying your life also involves a critical look at how you allocate your time. Scrutinize your daily and weekly routines. Are there tasks that can be streamlined or eliminated? Are you committing to activities that align with your values and goals, or are you succumbing to the pressure of societal expectations? Learning to prioritize your tasks effectively and to decline additional commitments that do not serve your well-being is not an act of selfishness. Rather, it's an exercise in establishing boundaries that protect your mental health. Lastly, it's important to recognize that overcommitment can be a significant source of stress. Saying no is a powerful tool in managing your mental load. When you limit your obligations to only those that are truly important or fulfilling, you allow yourself the time and energy to engage fully with those commitments. This selectivity is key in creating a life that is less hectic and more in tune with your mental peace. By paring down your life to the essentials and embracing a philosophy of less is more, you craft an environment and a lifestyle that act as a bulwark against the tendency to overthink. In the tranquility of a simplified life, your mind can find the space it needs to quiet down and focus on the present moment, allowing for a more mindful and joyful existence. Number 8. Engage in the practice of meditation. The act of meditation is a fundamental component of Buddhist tradition and serves as a powerful tool in the battle against the tendency to overthink. To engage in meditation is to embark on a journey of mental discipline, where you learn to steer your focus away from the incessant chatter of the mind and towards a singular point of concentration. This focal point could be the rhythm of your breathing, the repetition of a meaningful mantra, or even the mental construction of a tranquil and calming image. As you meditate, you gently guide your mind to this anchor whenever you notice it wandering into a maze of over-analytical thoughts. It's this deliberate redirection of attention that disrupts the cycle of overthinking, a mental habit that often feels as though it has a mind of its own. Through consistent meditation practice, you begin to cultivate an inner environment of calm, and with time, you'll find that this state of mental tranquility extends beyond your meditation sessions into everyday life. This is not a quick fix, but rather a gradual process of training the mind. As your proficiency in meditation grows, so too does your ability to maintain a sense of equilibrium amidst life's inevitable ups and downs. You learn to observe your thoughts without getting entangled in them, thus achieving a more profound level of mental control and serenity. Number 9. Focus on helpful thoughts. In Buddhism, one of the key aspects of leading a wholesome and mindful life involves the practice of right thinking or right thought. This concept emphasizes the importance of being mindful of the thoughts that occupy our minds. According to the Buddha's teachings, we should consciously direct our attention towards thoughts that are not only beneficial to ourselves, but also to others around us. To put this into practical terms, it means actively choosing to engage with thoughts that have a positive and constructive impact on our well-being and the well-being of those we interact with. These thoughts could include ideas of kindness, compassion, generosity, and gratitude. When we intentionally focus on such thoughts, we create a mental space where they can flourish and take root, influencing our actions and behaviors in a positive way. We should strive to let go of thoughts that are harmful, unnecessary, or unproductive. These are often thoughts of anger, envy, resentment, and worry. By consciously recognizing and releasing these negative thought patterns, we free up mental space that would otherwise be occupied by overthinking or dwelling on stressful and unhelpful subjects. The practice of focusing on helpful thoughts is a proactive and deliberate effort to shape our mental landscape in a way that promotes inner peace, compassion, and overall well-being. It's about recognizing the power of our thoughts and choosing to cultivate the ones that lead to a more positive and fulfilling life, both for ourselves and for those we touch with our thoughts and actions. This practice aligns with the core principles of mindfulness and compassion that are central to Buddhism and can be a valuable guide for anyone seeking a more meaningful and harmonious existence. Number 10. Embrace impermanence. In Buddhism, the concept of anicca, or impermanence, plays a central role. It essentially teaches us that everything in existence is in a perpetual state of change. When applied to the issue of overthinking, understanding impermanence can be a valuable tool. It means recognizing that the state of overthinking, like all things, is not a permanent fixture in our lives. Just as the seasons change, so too will our mental states. By embracing the idea of impermanence, you can foster a profound sense of ease in your life. This acceptance allows you to let go of the relentless desire for control and the need for absolute certainty in a world that is constantly shifting. Overthinking may grip you at times, but knowing that it too shall pass can offer solace. It reminds us that even our most overwhelming thoughts and emotions are fleeting, allowing us to approach them with a sense of detachment and equanimity. The timeless teachings of Gautama Buddha offer invaluable strategies for freeing our minds from the relentless grip of overthinking. These teachings emphasize the importance of mindfulness, the art of observing our thoughts without judgment, and the practice of finding the middle way, balancing our mental processes without getting trapped in extremes. Additionally, releasing attachments, cultivating compassion, practicing patience, simplifying our lives, engaging in meditation, focusing on helpful thoughts, and embracing impermanence all contribute to a more serene and mindful existence. Buddha's wisdom guides us to navigate the tumultuous waters of our thoughts and emotions, leading us towards the tranquil stream of mindfulness. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we can break free from the cycle of overthinking, reduce stress and anxiety, and cultivate inner peace. As we embark on this transformative journey, we not only find solace for ourselves, but also contribute to a kinder and more empathetic world, one thought at a time.